Hello, my name is Ethan Orchard. I will be giving a short presentation of my IS 515 project. During this project, I am an avid college football fan, and so I decided to find a way using the past experience from this last year of the college football teams, given their statistical performances, to create a model for predicting the number of wins a college football team will experience. This could be useful for maybe a sports reporter or an analyst trying to predict the number of wins a team will have if they know how well their offense will perform in the next year, and to give a general idea of how to predict a team's performance. I decided to use some of the principles I've learned as a statistics major throughout college, namely some exploratory data analysis and using that to look and develop a linear regression model that can give a prediction for the number of wins. In doing this, I used principles of extracting data, of importing that data, using charting techniques to explore the data, and as well as conditional formatting, data tables and pivot tables to help make the presentations cleaner, and a VBA function that I wrote to give a final prediction. This first step was to import the data, and doing that I used some conditional formatting to aid in initial exploratory data analysis. I used check marks and X's in the wins column to show whether a team made it to a bowl game or not. I used a color range to represent the difficulty of a team's schedule in the schedule strength column. And then I used conditional formatting in the points, total yards, points opponent points, and opponent total yards to show the top 10 and bottom 10 performers in those two categories. Moving on to some of the individual analysis, I pulled some of the major team statistics that I thought would have the most impact into this worksheet, and using the chart here to explore the data as well as some linear models on those charts, I was able to find that these three statistics all have a strong relationship in how well they are able to predict the number, or how well they trend, and that trend predicts the number of wins a team will experience. I then did the same thing for some of the more minor statistics that I thought could have an impact on these, namely the strength of schedule, the number of turnovers that a team will have per game or their opponent will have, and the number of penalty yards that they or their opponent will have. Of these categories, I found that the only ones that could maybe be useful in these predictions would be the turnovers per game by the opponent and by the own team. And so in finding that, I decided to bring these main categories that I had, the points, opponent yards, turnovers, and opponent turnovers, into a separate data table, and then used a VBA function that I wrote titled College Football Win Prediction to pull the data set in and to train the data, and then to make a prediction on how many points or whatever statistical category they think they will experience, to give a linear projection. I did that for every category, and in order to avoid confusion, I then averaged them out to give a final prediction. And that is the summary and presentation of my project. Thank you.